Joe Dispenza has revolutionized the way we think about personal transformation. He teaches that by shifting our thoughts, we can change our lives. His powerful philosophy blends neuroscience with spirituality, guiding individuals to reprogram their minds and break free from limiting patterns. This video will dive deep into how embracing his ideas can turn you into a winner. Don't miss it. In this article, we'll explore how the mind shapes reality, the science behind Dispenza's work, meditation practices, overcoming past traumas, and more. Stay tuned for a life-changing journey, understanding the power of the mind in creating reality. As we dive deeper into Joe Dispenza's teachings, it becomes clear that the mind is not just a passive observer of life. It is the active creator of our experiences. If you've ever felt like your life is on autopilot, running in cycles, this idea might resonate with you. Dispenza firmly believes that our thoughts shape our reality, and our ability to rewire the brain can open doors to endless possibilities. Let me share a story of a woman named Sarah, whose life was transformed by this very principle. Sarah, like many of us, was stuck in a cycle of negativity. She believed her circumstances, a job she didn't love, strained relationships, and unfulfilled dreams were beyond her control. She felt like a spectator in her own life, always reacting rather than acting. But after discovering Joe Dispenza's work, Sarah decided to take control. Through consistent meditation and focused attention on her thoughts, she slowly began to change her internal dialogue. Instead of focusing on what wasn't working, she started to visualize the life she wanted to create, breaking free from the chains of her past. Within months, Sarah noticed a profound shift in her life. Opportunities began to unfold, relationships healed, and she started feeling like the creator of her reality. Her story is a testament to the incredible power of the mind. The connection between thoughts and reality might seem abstract at first, but Dispenza explains it through the lens of neuroscience. Our brains are wired to form habitual patterns, and these neural circuits can be changed. By changing the way we think, we can actually reshape our brain's wiring, allowing us to break free from old patterns and create new ones. It's a form of mental rewiring, a process that empowers us to design our lives intentionally. Imagine waking up every day with the knowledge that you hold the power to change the course of your life, simply by shifting the way you think. It's a liberating feeling, one that can take you from a state of helplessness to one of confidence and clarity. If Sarah can do it, so can you. This concept isn't just about wishful thinking. It's rooted in real science. Our brains are incredibly malleable, and with focused attention and repetition, we can build new neural pathways that align with our true desires. This is the essence of Joe Dispenza's teachings, empowering you to harness your mind's power and use it to create the life you deserve. When you understand that your thoughts shape your reality, you unlock the secret to transformation. By adopting Dispenza's approach, you learn to focus on what you want, not what you fear. You begin to break free from old, limiting beliefs and start programming your mind for success. With each passing day, you move closer to becoming the person you've always dreamed of being. The power is within you, and it's all in the way you think. The science behind rewiring your brain for success, building upon the powerful idea that thoughts shape reality. Joe Dispenza dives deep into the neuroscience of transformation. To many, this concept can seem too abstract, but Dispenza has a unique way of making it understandable and practical. His approach is based on the fact that our brains are incredibly plastic, meaning they can be reshaped and rewired at any point in life. The science behind this process is fascinating, and understanding it can open up limitless possibilities for personal growth and achievement. Let me take you back to the story of David, a man who thought he was stuck in a cycle of failure. David had always been told he wasn't good enough by family, peers, and even his own inner voice. This negativity shaped his belief system and the way he saw the world. He was constantly playing catch-up, running on autopilot, believing his circumstances were beyond his control. But after hearing Joe Dispenza speak at a seminar, David was intrigued by the idea that his brain could be rewired. At first, it sounded too good to be true. But after learning about the science behind neuroplasticity and how thoughts influence brain patterns, David decided to give it a try. Through guided meditation, deep focus, and consistently reprogramming his thoughts, David began to notice something extraordinary. His mindset was changing. He no longer felt trapped by his past. Instead, he was beginning to create a new narrative. He started attracting better opportunities, making healthier decisions, and building relationships based on self-worth. It was as if the negative stories he had been telling himself no longer had any power over him. His transformation wasn't just mental. It was physical, emotional, and even spiritual. What David experienced is a direct result of the science behind rewiring the brain. According to Dispenza, every thought you have creates a physical change in the brain. When you think about something, electrical impulses travel through the neurons, creating neural connections. Repeating these thoughts strengthens these connections, solidifying them into habits. However, the reverse is also true. When you change your thoughts, you create new connections. This is how you can begin to rewire your brain. This process of rewiring is not immediate. It requires patience, consistency, and dedication. But with every meditation session, every time you challenge your limiting beliefs, you are slowly creating new neural pathways that align with your desired outcomes. It's a process that Joe Dispenza has coined as mental rehearsal. The more you practice thinking, feeling, and behaving in ways that align with your goals, the more you train your brain to do so automatically. In essence, you are creating a new version of yourself, one that is capable of achieving greatness. Understanding the science behind rewiring your brain for success empowers you to take control of your life. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your own destiny. Like David, anyone can break free from the chains of negative thinking and limited beliefs by embracing the science of neuroplasticity. It's a journey of transformation, and the more you commit to it, the more your life will shift in extraordinary ways. Just remember, the power lies in your thoughts and your ability to change them. Breaking free from limiting beliefs. A new path to empowerment continuing from the science of rewiring the brain. Let's now dive into how breaking free from limiting beliefs can act as a catalyst for personal empowerment. If you truly want to unlock your fullest potential, it's crucial to confront the beliefs that have been holding you back. Often, these beliefs are deeply ingrained in childhood experiences or failures that have shaped the way we view ourselves. But here's the truth. These beliefs don't define us unless we allow them to. Consider the story of Rachel, a successful woman in her 30s who had always dreamed of starting her own business. But despite her talents and drive, Rachel kept hitting a wall. Every time she tried to take a step forward, something held her back. It wasn't a lack of skills or resources. It was her belief that she wasn't worthy of success. Deep down, Rachel had internalized the idea that success was for others, but not for her. Her limiting belief was so powerful that it sabotaged her efforts, no matter how hard she tried. This is where the power of breaking free from limiting beliefs comes into play. When Rachel attended a Joe Dispenza seminar, she began to realize that the negative stories she had been telling herself were not the truth. They were just beliefs, and beliefs are nothing more than deeply held thoughts that we accept as fact. It was in that moment that she understood she had the power to change them. To begin her transformation, Rachel started by identifying the beliefs that were restricting her growth. She began to challenge them, asking herself, "Why do I believe I'm not worthy? Who taught me this?" By dissecting her beliefs, she was able to see that they were not only untrue, but also rooted in fear and past experiences. As she broke down these walls, she could finally breathe and see a clearer path ahead. Rachel then embraced the practice of affirmations and meditation, which helped her reprogram her subconscious mind. By visualizing her success and repeating empowering statements, she started to create a new belief system. Over time, her confidence grew, and she launched her business with a sense of certainty that had once seemed impossible. What Rachel experienced is not unique. Many people are held back by the shackles of limiting beliefs that were formed early on in life. These beliefs can make us feel unworthy of success, love, and happiness. But the key is recognizing them, facing them head-on, and consciously choosing to replace them with beliefs that empower us. Joe Dispenza often emphasizes the importance of mental rehearsal in this process. Just as athletes mentally rehearse their performance before a big game, you can rehearse your success in your mind. With each rehearsal, You are essentially rewiring your brain to believe that success is possible. You're replacing old, limiting thoughts with new, empowering ones. This process is life-changing. It's a shift in mindset that unlocks a world of possibilities. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is not about denying past experiences or pretending that challenges didn't happen. It's about choosing to view them as stepping stones, not barriers. When you release these old beliefs, you allow yourself to grow, evolve, and step into the highest version of yourself. As Rachel's story shows, anyone can break free and create a new narrative for their life. It all begins with recognizing the beliefs that no longer serve you and making the decision to rewrite them. Creating emotional mastery, harnessing the power of your feelings, building on the idea of breaking free from limiting beliefs. Let's explore how mastering our emotions can further empower us on our journey toward success. Emotions, often seen as uncontrollable forces, are one of the most powerful tools we can use to shape our lives. When we learn how to harness and channel them intentionally, they become a driving force that propels us toward our highest potential. Take the story of James, a man in his early 40s who had spent most of his life reacting impulsively to emotions. Anger, frustration, and anxiety ruled his world. These emotions sabotaged his relationships and career, leaving him feeling stuck. It wasn't until he attended a Joe Dispenza seminar that he realized how deeply his emotions were shaping his life in ways he hadn't even noticed. His emotional state was constantly in reaction, creating a cycle of stress and disappointment. James realized that his emotional responses were based on past patterns, many of which had been established long ago. For years, he had been repeating the same emotional reactions to certain triggers. But once he recognized this, he took a huge step toward mastering his emotions. He understood that emotions aren't the enemy. They are simply energy in motion, and how we respond to them can either elevate or diminish our lives. So, how do we gain control over our emotions instead of allowing them to control us? The first step is awareness. James started by identifying the emotions that were most dominant in his life, the ones that led him to act impulsively or irrationally. Once he acknowledged them, he began to take a step back when he felt an emotional reaction rising within him. Instead of reacting immediately, he learned to pause, take a breath, and observe the emotion without judgment. This moment of pause was a game changer. It allowed James to detach from the emotion and gain a sense of clarity. He began to ask himself, is this emotion serving me? What do I want to create with my energy? By practicing this simple yet powerful pause, he was able to transform moments of frustration into opportunities for growth. Rather than allowing anger to dictate his actions, he turned that energy into motivation to solve problems or take positive steps forward. But emotional mastery isn't just about controlling negative emotions, it's also about amplifying positive ones. As James started to feel more in control of his emotional state, he began to cultivate feelings of gratitude, joy, and excitement. He used visualization techniques to imagine himself achieving his goals, and he allowed himself to feel the emotions associated with success before it even happened. This practice of emotional visualization rewired his brain, making him feel more confident and driven. Over time, James noticed profound changes. His relationships improved as he became more emotionally balanced, and he started taking decisive action toward his goals. By mastering his emotions, he unlocked a new level of success and happiness. Creating emotional mastery is not about suppressing or ignoring our feelings. It's about learning to observe them without being controlled by them. It's about using our emotions as powerful tools for creation rather than allowing them to dictate our reactions. Just like James, anyone can learn to master their emotions and transform their life into one of empowerment and peace. Embodying your new identity, becoming the person you want to be, building on emotional mastery and self-awareness. It's time to explore the powerful act of embodying your new identity. As we break free from old patterns and embrace the true potential within us, we must shift from simply thinking about change to actually becoming the person we want to be. This transformation requires more than just setting goals. It's about aligning your actions, thoughts, and energy with the future version of yourself. Consider Sarah, a woman in her early 30s who had always dreamed of starting her own business. For years, she had been stuck in the same job, feeling frustrated and unfulfilled. She knew that she was capable of so much more, but every time she thought about taking the leap, fear and doubt crept in. Who am I to run my own business? What if I fail? These thoughts echoed in her mind, creating a cycle of inaction. One day, after attending a seminar by Joe Dispenza, Sarah had an epiphany. She had been waiting for the perfect moment to make her move, but what she really needed to do was embody the version of herself who was already successful. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to align, she realized she could start living in alignment with the woman she aspired to be right now. Sarah decided to take small but powerful steps to embody her new identity. She began dressing the part not just for work, but for her life as a successful entrepreneur. She imagined herself as the CEO of her own business and started to show up in the world with that confidence. She even adopted new habits, waking up earlier, setting clear intentions for her day, and taking consistent action toward her goal, no matter how small. The key to Sarah's transformation was that she didn't wait for the success to show up first. She created it from the inside out. As she began to live as the person she wanted to become, she felt more empowered and aligned with her goals. Her actions became bolder, and opportunities started to flow to her. She realized that by embodying her new identity, she was opening herself up to the kind of success she had always dreamed of. But how do you embody a new identity when you're still working through fears and doubts? It all begins with belief. You must believe in the version of yourself that is already capable of achieving greatness. Visualize this new identity with clarity and conviction, and let it guide every decision you make. The more you visualize and act as though you are already the person you want to be, the more your external reality will reflect this new identity. Sarah's business took off within months, not because she suddenly had everything figured out, but because she stopped waiting for validation from the outside world and started living as the successful entrepreneur she already knew herself to be. She stopped looking at her circumstances and instead focused on the person she was becoming. When you embody your new identity, you align your energy with the life you want to create. It's not about pretending. It's about trusting that you have the power to shape your reality through your thoughts, actions, and self-image. Just like Sarah, anyone can begin to embody the life they want, starting today. The more you live from this new identity, the more you'll see your dreams unfold right before your eyes. Mastering the art of letting go, releasing limiting beliefs and emotional attachments after fully embracing your new identity and stepping into the person you want to become, there comes a powerful moment when you must learn to let go of everything that no longer serves you. This process of release is not just about physical possessions or old habits, it is about relinquishing the limiting beliefs, past emotional attachments, and the old stories that keep you stuck in your current reality. To truly embrace your new self, you must be willing to release the weight of your past. Let's continue Sarah's journey. After months of working on herself and growing her business, she realized something crucial. She was still carrying emotional baggage that was holding her back. She had unresolved fears from her childhood, stories she told herself about not being good enough, and a deep-seated belief that she could never truly be successful. These limiting beliefs didn't just affect her business. They impacted every part of her life. Despite her success, she felt anxious and unsure of her worth. One day, as she sat reflecting on her progress, Sarah had an epiphany. She realized that she could not fully embrace her new identity without first releasing the emotional attachments and beliefs that had been tied to her old self. The thought of letting go was both freeing and terrifying. After all, these beliefs and attachments had been a part of her for as long as she could remember. But as she sat with her thoughts, Sarah understood that holding on to them was like trying to move forward while carrying a heavy burden. Sarah decided it was time to release the old stories. She sought help through therapy, journaling, and meditation, gradually uncovering the roots of her limiting beliefs. One by one, she faced the fears that had kept her trapped. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of not being good enough. Each time she faced a fear, she reminded herself that it was not her truth. She learned to reframe the narrative instead of seeing herself as someone who was not good enough. She began to embrace the truth. She was more than capable and worthy of all her dreams. The process of letting go was not instantaneous, but it was incredibly liberating. Sarah began to notice a shift in her energy. As she released these old beliefs, her mind became clearer, her confidence grew, and the opportunities around her started to multiply. It was as if the universe was responding to her newfound alignment. To truly master the art of letting go, you must first recognize that your past does not define you. The past is merely a series of experiences, not a permanent label you carry with you. Letting go involves forgiving yourself for mistakes and releasing the guilt, shame, or regret that may still be lingering. It's a deep and transformational process that allows you to break free from the emotional chains that have been keeping you stagnant. As Sarah continued to let go of her old patterns, she felt lighter, more at peace, and more capable of achieving even greater success. She no longer allowed her past failures or doubts to dictate her future. Instead, she embraced the endless possibilities ahead. The power of letting go gave her the space to fully step into her power, unencumbered by the weight of her past. Just like Sarah, you too have the ability to release whatever is holding you back. The key is to trust that in letting go, you make room for new opportunities, growth, and a future that aligns with your highest potential. Let go of the beliefs, fears, and attachments that no longer serve you, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The moment you release what no longer serves you, you step into a space of freedom, power, and limitless potential. If you're feeling inspired by this transformation, hit that like button to show us some love. Sparkling Heart, share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your story and how you're letting go of what's holding you back. Sparkles, and don't forget to subscribe and check out our other videos for more powerful content that will change your life. Together, we're creating a community of growth, empowerment, and endless possibilities. Flexed biceps, stay tuned, because we have so much more coming your way. Glowing star.